Season 2 of the PatJT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
Nick's back. Nick's back.
Hello.
Fact
Hello,
checker
everyone.
Nick.
You fact checker.
Yes, my fingertips are warm.
Yes, they are. It's been a few days, so we need to get you back into checking some serious
Yes,
facts.
of course.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic.
This fact, I think, can be checked. This is from Courtney at 402-403-9478. And this kind of ties into something we're going to be doing a little bit later on in this episode. She said, thanks for the tip about Omaha Steaks, Dad's Best Grill Pack. It's not what it's called, Courtney, but it's called the Get Out and Grill Pack, but that's fine. It says, I just ordered that for my dad, and thumbs up and uppy raise
Maybe
the roof
it's now.
emojis.
It is the Dad's Best Grill Pack.
Maybe it is.
Actually, isn't that their new one? I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm like, oh God, I didn't open that email.
Nick's going to check that out real quick
Yeah.
here to see if there isn't a Dad's Best Grill
Father's
Pack.
Day steaks gift pack,
Yeah.
gift
Yeah.
combo. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. It's loading. It's
Okay.
loading.
Okay,
He's
you do
looking.
that. Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
anyway, fantastic.
And
That's-
it is a
that-
Dad's Best Grill Pack because
It
I
is.
did get one, and it is
Father's
fantastic.
Day top gift pack is the first one.
Yeah. No, this
Favorite
is the,
Father's Day bundle.
This is, she said Dad's Best Grill Pack. She completely butchered the title.
There's
Close
no.
enough.
What
It's
did you
close
call
enough.
it again?
It's the Get Out and Grill assortment.
I definitely think that's wrong, Pat.
No, I guarantee you.
I don't
will
think
look
they
at,
have it anymore.
He does.
They do.
I think it's sold out.
Oh, well, that's good.
I think that so they put the other two packages together because it was selling like
Well,
it was selling like hotcakes,
Well, then
but
you
it
know
was
what?
hot steaks.
Then it's selling like grilled meat.
Yeah.
Well, then, Courtney, I apologize
I am
for
so
dicing
hungry.
you up on our podcast.
Right?
This is the hungriest fact check.
Yeah.
I've
And I'm
ever
just
had.
looking through juicy meat.
Usually
Yeah,
just
juicy
thirsty,
meat.
but
I know.
today he's hungry.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And we do, at the end of this podcast, talk to Todd Simon from Omaha Steaks,
Yeah.
like the bigwig, and he says something about the Omaha Steaks app that blows my mind. And it's amazing.
He has some amazing grill tips.
Yes.
Which were a lot of fun, and talking about indoor cooking and you'd think that there was a time that most men would
Yeah.
grill. You don't cook steaks inside.
But you can't. You do.
Absolutely,
But this, like,
you can.
the app thing
Yeah,
that he
the
talks
app.
about,
You know.
it's like one of those things. Like, how come I never thought about this?
It's brilliant.
Omaha Steaks, and this isn't like you're just saying that because no, it's legit. I blow my mind.
So
Just-
don't miss it.
Just like our audience, I have no clue what you're talking about, and I'm excited to listen. Indoor steaks, I'm skeptical of. I've tried it, and mainly it's when you go to sear it and it causes a bunch of smoke and your fire alarms go off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why
yeah.
I'm opposed to that doing that as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
But I'll have to listen
guys.
to the interview to see.
Well, stick
what he
around. It's
says.
coming up at the end of the
Yeah,
you
PatJT
go.
podcast.
Okay,
We'll take
Very
care of that
exciting.
problem. Yes.
So you can get to us Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's Pat and JT, or like
Or
Courtney did.
also be sure to sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah.
And that's on our Facebook page, and it's also in the link in this episode. If you're
Right?
listening to it, scroll down.
First
and
time promoting it.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
We've
sign up.
mentioned it before, but we have a special Father's Day edition.
It was a very
and
special edition of the
Pat had a
PatJT.
ghostwriter.
I did. I paid a 12-year-old Vietnamese kid to write.
No, did you? I thought you.
No,
I
I
thought you
did.
did.
I wrote it. I
Okay,
did. I'm just
okay.
kidding. I wrote it.
Yeah, last time I was here, I was giving you a
did.
pat on the back, so to speak. Yeah,
I
yeah.
did. No, I did. I wrote it. My wife corrected me, like, what do you call that? Grammarly'd me.
She edited you.
Yeah, she edited me. So yeah,
I
it's
Grammarly
fine.
people.
Yeah, she edited me.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So got that coming
So
up.
this past weekend, a few days ago, I've mentioned him before on our podcast, and Nick, you and I have talked about him a couple times, trying to get him on the Hollywood Raw podcast. Is Casey Neistat? People probably have seen his face. A lot of people know his name. He's started off as a YouTuber. Him and his brother had an HBO show back in the mid 2000s. If you knew that, the Neistat brothers.
I did not know. He was like the first big YouTuber.
Huge.
Like paved the way for YouTubers.
And when I found him, I
OG.
stumbled upon him when he, like, his second video that he did, I like just stumbled upon it, and I'm like, I love this dude. I love the way he does everything. So from that point forward, I could not wait for the next episode the next day to come out. And when we started doing our podcast daily, the first person I thought of was Casey Neistat, because he would do an episode every day. And that's a lot of work. He's accurate on that. But
I think I heard you talking about him earlier this morning, and I giggled under my breath.
Well,
because you fell for it.
I didn't. Here's the thing. here's the thing: is that I did fall for it, but I fell for it a little. I fell for it.
You fell for this.
So
He's gonna explain it.
Well, first of all, let's go. Let's flash back a couple of years because Casey Neistat has a son named Owen, and Owen they lived in New York City, or they live in LA now. They lived in New York City at the time, and Owen was going to go to college on the West Coast. So Casey, part of his vlog, part of his thing was the road trip across America to take his son to college. Well, I noticed as he's going through, Illinois, and then he's into Iowa, and I'm thinking he's on I-80. He's going to hit Omaha. Sure enough, I'm watching the video, and I watch it, say, like on a Thursday, realizing that he was at Whole Foods in Regency the day before, like had his drone out there and had his whatever skateboard, and he was going around Regency. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I missed it by a day. Flash forward to this past weekend. Like, I'm not going to let that happen again.
I'm not missing him.
I'm not going to miss him.
Yeah.
Again, let's note I'm 47. I'm sitting. What was it? Friday night, I think. Friday night. No, it was Saturday. Saturday morning. I'm scrolling Twitter and I see Casey sends out this itinerary. I'm headed L.A. to Massachusetts, driving, blah, blah, blah. And he puts out his little map where he's going. And it's right across I-80. I'm thinking, holy blank.
I'm going to see him.
I'm going to meet Casey. I'm going to do this. This is going to be great. Got to time out where he's going. And my wife's
take your GoPro and take your.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Good.
But my wife's a good investigator, so I knew that if he posted pictures, she would dissect the pictures, like where he is. Well, anyway, so it got to the point where we're timing when he said he left a certain place, how many hours it would take to get to somewhere else to when he started, when he got to Colorado, he started going to all the Casey's gas stations. So I'm thinking, okay, because he made a comment on that on the first flashback 2 years ago. The first time he saw Casey's was in Iowa, and he's like, "This is the best store ever."
Okay.
Right. If you drove through and saw Pat's,
I would think she had the best store ever. And so anyway, so he starts hitting all these Casey's. I'm thinking, okay. So he was leaving Aspen, Colorado, and I know they're trying to drive about 12 hours a day. That would put him in about the Omaha, Des Moines-ish area to spend the night. Again, I'm 47, and I'm figuring, I look like a serial killer, mapping out all this stuff. My wife and I are like, oh no, she's zooming in on pictures. We have grids. And there were certain Casey's gas stations within our area. We're thinking, okay, so he's probably going to need, this is ridiculous. He's going to need to gas up here. They're going to have to pee here. So we left a buffer time when he's going to be. So when we figured he was going to be at the Casey's on 132nd, whatever, by Cabela's, that was kind of our, because we figured he wouldn't need gas. He's got a Tesla. He's not going to need gas in Lincoln.
He's
going to get to Omaha,
That's right.
and he's going to get gas in
Flux
Omaha, and then
capacitor.
spend the night probably in Des Moines.
Wait, he has a Tesla? Wait.
But he didn't. But okay, rewind. He has a
gas
Tesla.
station.
He has a
Yeah.
Tesla, but he was driving his Range Rover.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
The Tesla has nothing to do with it.
All right. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right.
Right. Right. I'm just gonna look excited. So it was about Beth. I can see this like it was yesterday because it was 2 days ago.
it was yesterday.
And she's sitting on the couch and she zoomed in on the picture and she goes, you didn't tell me he was in Ogallala 4.5 hours ago. I'm like, I didn't know. She zoomed in and saw a street sign that said Ogallala, whatever. So she's like, he's going to be here anytime. Let's move. Let's go. So I just got out of the shower, put on actually these clothes. And we jumped. I grabbed my daughter. Oh. My daughter was laying down in her room. Just got back from the pool all day. We were there. I'm like, let's go. We're going to see Casey Neistat. Let's get out of here. And she's just like, you've got to be kidding me. Jump in the car. She didn't have shoes on. Get in the car. Take off down the road.
Oh my God.
Get to Casey's. We're scanning for this Range Rover. Beth knew with the model, the color, everything. Scanning. She goes, no Casey. Don't see any Casey. So we're like, well, we're leaving. We're gonna go up to Buc-ee's. Maybe he almost ran out of gas. I'm thinking it's off brand.
Yeah,
but maybe he's gonna go. Get up to Buc-ee's. No Casey. We missed him. And then last night, he didn't post anything. We were worried. He didn't post anything. Like, hey, we're hunkering down here for the night, blah, blah. And this morning, Beth texted me. She goes, still nothing from your boy. Do you think he died? I'm like, I don't think so. And so then he posted, they're at the Mississippi River already. So he was throwing out these breadcrumbs, 6-8 hours delayed.
After he'd been there.
So creepos
To
like
avoid
me.
people like you.
Yeah, that is exactly.
Absolute.
Was she able to, she saw that in the picture did she open up the pictures and she got it?
For which one?
Did the pictures,
Mississippi River one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
You
was
could tell
he
when it was
said
taken.
it. He said it was
He said it
Mississippi.
in there?
Well, he said it because this morning he said, "Hey, that's the Mississippi River," and I'm thinking that's on the east coast of Iowa, liar.
Yeah. So yeah, he was deliberately. trying
And
to
I figured
fool
he's
you.
a smart dude. He's got a team behind him.
That is like classic. You know, for
Yes.
any celebrity, when they're going to go somewhere, they don't tell you that they've been there. They tell you after they've been there and make it sound like they're there right then.
And they make it seem like they're so normal or regular, like regular folks posting social stuff, because it's just him and his father-in-law going across the country.
No big
and
deal.
So like it's just him, them, and actually they sleep in their car.
So
you know?
he probably takes those pictures and then he schedules out so that they're appropriately lit.
Yes.
Right
For
part of
sure.
day, right
Yeah.
time of
For
day.
all I know, it could have been
Yeah.
last week. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Could've been.
Yeah.
It
Have
really
no
could have
clue.
been.
But with like
Yeah.
3.1 million followers on Instagram, I'm sure Pat would be like the least creepy person.
Right. I
sticking
would
out.
hope so.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't see a bunch of other people there with their
I thought I
love
would.
Casey
Yeah.
signs.
I thought I would. And I actually thought about like
You were going to
yeah.
make a Facebook group, weren't you?
no, not a group, but I was going to make an interstate sign.
Welcome, Casey.
Uh-huh.
What would you say? What would you have said to Casey if you bumped into him at?
Probably nothing. Like, hey, what's up?
You
Like, I don't even
you
know.
probably wouldn't even talk to him.
Like,
Yeah.
I would it'd be like, yeah.
Yes, Casey over there.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't. I'm not like a super fangirl. I love what he does, and I just think he
So you-
seems like
you
a
wanted a
cool dude.
picture.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, gone for the
That's what-
picture.
Yeah, because
Respect.
and I would think that Casey would appreciate that because that's what he does, right?
Yeah,
Just for the picture.
yeah.
He wants pictures. That's what he's
Yeah,
doing
I would
for
think
his
so.
followers.
So I was pretty excited about that. But when we went to New York to see Waitress, Beth and I went to his studio, wherever he shot all of his stuff, and he wasn't in town.
Like you showed up and knocked on the door.
No, we just
okay.
knew
Man,
from.
That's like
okay.
going to Graceland, huh? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is anybody
yeah.
here? Nobody's
we
here.
just knew.
That's so
yeah,
weird. Was
we
he?
knew.
Oh,
We knew
okay.
from like stuff he was posting from LA. He wasn't
He's
there.
not. Well, you assumed.
We assumed.
Yeah.
But he
He
was
was probably in the back room.
probably jerk. But it was fun.
Kept most of the people away, but not Pat. He
I know.
Still shows up.
It's funny though. What like social media person? Like I can't think of any like people on TV right now that I would like do that for. But there's something about social media people where you feel like you're more attached to them.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Who would you like
Go crazy
go
for?
to? Yeah, go to a gas station at 4:30
Who would you
on a
go
Sunday.
to a gas station for?
I don't know if I would go to a gas station for.
Yeah?
For anyone. I think my line is like if they walked into the same room I'm in, would I be able to like have a conversation with them, or would I just awkwardly like stare at them and breathe heavy?
Yep, probably.
Yeah.
Because then you don't. What is the saying that you don't want to prove? It's like just leave them wondering, and instead of saying anything, you don't want to prove that you're an idiot
Yeah.
by saying something.
Leave them
Yeah.
thinking that you are, but right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to prove it. I don't want to.
And over the picture, I would really like to have like a conversation with them, like ask them
Mm.
a question. And my question to most people, including Casey Neistat, is like, why do you think your content resonates with people? I just think like
Mm-hmm.
their answer to that would be interesting.
Yeah.
It basically is the why you.
Yeah. Yes.
Why you?
Yes.
Why you? What are you doing?
I
Yeah.
I got really into David Dobrik's content. He has since been like, he came out that he was kind of a sleazeball to a whole bunch of people he worked with. So that's a tough one to stand by, but I really did enjoy his content when he was like at
Did
the
that
peak of-
okay? So since you liked him so much at the time, were you really, really, really hurt, like disappointed when you found out? 'Cause I
Most
know
definitely.
A lot of people are going through real difficult withdrawals because of Ellen,
Yeah.
and the stuff that's been coming out about the treatment of coworkers.
Yeah.
And from stars too. They're not that they were treated poorly, but that they saw what was going on
Yeah.
backstage. And it's just unbelievable because I'm thinking, my God, I don't want to go way out there, but it's like it takes a special kind of person to have everybody completely fooled on the show.
Yeah.
The personality flipping
Yeah.
the switch to be that different of a person behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
And I think that proves the point that you don't get to that level of success without being that kind of person.
A
I don't. Yeah, because I don't think you can get to where she is without stepping on people and treating people like trash. I really don't think
Oh,
you can.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's-
I really
though,
don't
'cause
think you can.
I was reading this weekend, as a matter of fact. Did you see what was trending was Michael Jackson's innocent? Michael Jackson didn't, something like that. It's somebody said it's time to get this trending again, and people were coming forward in his defense because of
Interesting.
all the stuff that had come out about him. Yet no one credible witness had ever come forward. They said, and any witness that did come forward always went to a lawyer first
Yeah,
to get money. They didn't go to the law enforcement.
right. And like
that's
a good point.
And Michael Jackson they're like in this. It's so sad that he died with that shroud of whatever you want to call it over him.
But what about with Ellen? Like with these, like you said, the celebrities that have come out, the things that they saw. Why didn't they say anything before now? Like now that it's coming
let's
out.
ask Harvey Weinstein's friends.
Right.
Because they were getting something out of it.
Exactly.
If they got to sit on her couch.
Like if
Johnny Carson was, I heard, not exactly a nice person to a lot of people.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
But you got to sit on his couch.
Letterman's not a nice person to a lot of his staff.
Did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've heard that before.
Interesting. Leno?
He seems like a good guy.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I bet
of anyone that I could see like just blowing up, I could see Leno like when he's angry. Kind of like, have you seen clips of Bill O'Reilly going crazy on people, like screaming at people?
Yeah.
I could see, and this is based on just like nothing.
That's our show. That's the subtitle for our show.
Based on nothing.
Based on nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about all the late night people, Kimmel's another one that I'm sure.
And I'm sure everybody has their moments.
So far, so good, right?
I mean, even Pat and JT, I have personal relationships with both you two. You are amazing. So to get where you two are, you didn't have to cut corners.
But where? Yeah, I don't know where we are. It's 4:30 on a Thursday, right? We're drinking red and white blue Walmart pop.
Yeah.
No, but
no, we haven't. But that's why we're here.
That's why you just backed up your own point.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it does make you think when you're watching people or following people about what's the facade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And you're buying into it. Kardashians are another great one.
Oh, 100%.
Right? And it's like whew, everything is planned.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a bunch of stuff on TikTok lately about all the Photoshop and like they don't even look how they present themselves.
I saw some of that.
Yeah.
Wasn't it with Kim and the billboard?
And there was something weird about
her thumb was like the last digit of it, or what do you call that? Whatever. The end of her thumb was like way too long. Mm-hmm. Where she was with her. What does she call them? They're not
Skims.
Skims. Yes.
Yeah.
Not Spanx. Skims. Yeah, she had her Skims on,
and it was like it was bad Photoshop, so you could see like
her
where
thumb was like super long.
Yeah. And somebody, it got pointed out.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
of course.
But yeah, everything. It's just kind of interesting because you want to believe that those people are like that.
I want to believe that Casey Neistat is just driving down I-80, stopping at all the Casey's, but yet he is not.
In reality, he went to every Buc-ee's.
Right.
And he didn't take pictures because that wasn't his name.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I'm holding out a belief in that some people are like how they present themselves.
I think some people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some people are. But I think when you get to that level, like Ellen was, like you can't.
I don't understand though. It's like. You would think that at that point, as high, who else do we know that's like knowing of any famous person that's like so beloved that was an absolute horses behind?
Okay, so
doors.
there was a conservative radio host that what's her name? She's on Fox now. Laura Ingraham. A lot of people love her. She was on the radio forever, and now she's on Fox. She's one of their top hosts, and she would come when we were in radio.
Oh, I remember
and
this.
One of the AM radio stations had her in one week to do these presentations, and she's a big deal.
And she needed to borrow their studio to do her show.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. That year, and Sean Hannity did it here. Mm-hmm. So like when these guys would come to town, they would use our studios to do their show, their national show. Okay. Well, when she came in, the day before, had her team come in and put newspaper over all the windows so nobody could look at her. And everybody was instructed the day before.
I haven't wanted to do that too.
Well, and I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Okay, good.
But like we had a staff meeting the day before, like saying if you see Laura anywhere, don't engage her, don't talk to her, don't look at her. And at first blush, you're thinking, what a bee! Like who does that, right? But then on the other side of it, when we were doing, and what we did was a minuscule of what she ever did. But it's like you'd be in there working, and if the window is there and people would stand there staring at you, it's distracting. Yeah. And she's talking to 100 million people. Yeah. So she's got to be on her A game. So I get it. It's just you when you're on that level, like if you screw up one time, 1 second is worth $50,000.
And the other side of that too, just engaging with people in the building, that's exhausting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everywhere she goes, she's working with supposed professionals in her business
Yeah.
who are wanting an autograph
Yes.
every time she turns around.
So I do get that.
I get
Yeah,
that.
I get it for sure.
Yeah.
Right? So
and it is exhausting.
but
Or it would be.
It did come off that way though, and it was like, oh,
Like, right,
okay.
and I've heard with this Ellen thing where she was instructing people not to make eye contact with her, and I can see both sides of
but
it.
that's her employees,
Right.
Yeah.
But like some employees, like still, that sounds stupid. When you say don't make eye contact with me, it sounds stupid. But on the other side of it, it's like if you're in the zone and you're like getting in, you have to get into this mental place to do what you do on that level. And one little thing can throw you off and screw up the entire show. That's like millions of dollars.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true. And I think a lot of entertainers are like that when they're backstage.
Mm-hmm. They're in the zone, like when football players, they're like they go to the locker room and it's like
Is
no
it-
press,
okay.
no cut, no, don't bother me. I'm getting my game face on. I'm focusing.
That's something that always drove me crazy though, because I'm a fan of NASCAR.
Oh yeah.
And who's the most available athletes in the world?
NASCAR.
NASCAR drivers.
Well, because they're just
out-
driving.
I knew you were going to say that, and if I could reach you,
As everybody drives. I don't need a game face to drive.
I would love to see you in one of those cars. I would in the
Like,
passenger seat. Yeah, trying to look over the top. I need a phone book to sit on. No, those guys. I mean, they're little guys, but they literally stay out there with the people and the public, like right up till race time. They're right out there, just signing autographs, doing their stuff, and then they go back and jump in their car and away we go. But yeah, all the other athletes. But are baseball players that way too?
Yeah, I think so. I know that I was never on that the major league level, but the minor leagues they would before the game they would go they'd sit in the dugout and they didn't want to be bothered and they'd go in the locker room, they'd sit by their locker, especially the special. Okay, so you like Ellen would be like the equivalent of a starting pitcher. So the starting pitcher, they'd come in 3 hours before the rest of the team. They would sit in a special room. They'd listen to music. They'd played video games, whatever got them focused, and nobody was allowed in that room because it's such a mental game. So who knows how Ellen prepares to do things?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You just assume that at some point you're able to flip that switch a little more
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
That at some point and not need so much.
I like this no eye contact thing. I think when we get it all back in the office, I'm
Should we
thinking
do
we need
that?
to tell people, do not
All
look at
company
us.
email. PatJT.
Do not look at PatJT, please.
And they're like, who?
Yeah, exactly.
And
They haven't seen us yet. They don't even know.
I also don't think it's fair to expect Ellen to be Ellen always.
Yes.
And
and that's what people want. That's what's
Yeah.
exhausting.
Because that's what
Yeah.
she's selling.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my opinion on I'm less harsh on Ellen now after this
Yeah.
podcast interview.
It is.
podcast.
I can see why. I
And
mean,
I
I
think
can to a
people that
degree.
aren't in her business don't understand how intense it is and how exhausting it
I
is to
can't
do
imagine.
that.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
No, and then so for her to put up these boundaries, maybe she's rude about it, and maybe she's mean, and she probably is.
Well, by the time, and figure too, when they're recording their shows, they recorded daily. They didn't batch them and then throw them out like Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
It was like, Wheel of Fortune would record, 3 months worth of shows and then go on hiatus
Right.
for next 5 weeks or something.
Yeah.
But hers is recorded daily.
Every day.
And that's got to be live audience.
It's intense.
Yeah, there is no bad day. I wonder, Kelly Ripa, what do you think she's like behind the scenes?
I'm sure.
I'm sure
a
she's not high
peach.
maintenance at all.
I'm sure I'm not. I'm sure she's absolute peach, a dandy. Yeah.
I think she runs that roost.
Heck yeah, she does. Heck yeah, she does.
Ask Michael, what's his name?
Oh, Strahan?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
didn't exactly have glowing words about her.
Yeah,
She ran circles around him.
of course.
Interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about meat.
Let's just go right from
Yeah.
hot topic to another hot topic. Let's go straight to the grill.
Yeah, let's go straight to the grill. Absolutely, let's do that.
Really excited to have Todd Simon on with us today talking Omaha Steaks, which is, there could not be a better time looking at the fact that Father's Day is coming up this weekend. And I imagine you've got your menu already figured out, sir.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, Father's Day is a smoking celebration at my house. So I invite a bunch of neighbors over and we start smoking brisket and Omaha Steaks King Cuts and all sorts of other Omaha Steaks products. So we start about 7 in the morning and we get done about 10 o'clock at night. And it's a total meat fest.
Good Lord, I can't imagine having a better neighbor than you.
Right?
Right? And speaking of Father's Day, me being a father, and I'm not ripping on women, I'm not whipping on moms, nothing.
Right.
But
Okay,
but
go
men
ahead.
are so much easier to buy for Father's Day because you get them Omaha Steaks, and that's all you have to do is go to omahasteaks.com, and anything you pick out will be perfect. Now, on the other side, you have to pick. There's a lot of other options for moms on Mother's Day, but Omaha Steaks makes it easy for Father's Day, and dads are
Oh,
easy.
it's absolutely perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
and you said that. I mean, it's true. My neighbors, my dad neighbors, are always just praising the amazing Omaha Steaks gifts that they're getting. Now that of course, because they're my neighbors, their wives are obligated to give them Omaha Steaks, and their kids, right? They don't have an excuse.
They probably told all the kids, "Don't mess this up for me. Do not be nice when you're at his house. Don't mess this up for me."
We need to have good relationships with the neighbors, so get them good steaks.
Hey, I got a question for you. When you're talking about smoking, I know you've got grilling tips and all that good stuff. What's your smoking tip? What kind of smoker do you use, or what do you suggest?
Well, smoking is an absolute art, and there's purists out there who have all sorts of opinions. I have two different smokers. I use a green egg type, ceramic smoker, which is absolutely awesome when you have the time to really put into it. And so that's like an all-day project, when I do that, and sometimes I do that. And then I have a pellet smoker that I use for kind of day-to-day smoking because, it's so easy to just flip the switch, turn it on, dial up the temperature, and go. So, and the same thing, it's the same thing with gas grill and charcoal grill. Sometimes I use the charcoal grill when I have the time to make the fire and let it wait and let it sit and let it get perfect. And sometimes I use the gas grill because my wife takes out some steaks and says, "This is what we're having for dinner tonight," and I got to go out there and do it.
Do you smoke or grill all the time? Like, are you always grilling and smoking?
Pretty much. In the summertime, I would say we'll cook maybe 3 out of 5 meals that we cook at home. We'll do outside on a grill or smoker. And in the wintertime, it's still once or twice a week.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so little known grilling facts. Let's see. Can you throw something out there that, because I struggle just a little bit. I can do your basic steak. I know exactly how long I need to cook, and I know I need this thick of a steak to cook this long to get a nice medium rare and crispy on the outside. So is there a secret to it as far as you're concerned? Do you ever like this pan seared, or do what's your go-to?
Sure. So that's a good question. This is a good time to plug the Omaha Steaks app, which you can download in the App Store for iOS or Android. And it has all sorts of great grilling tips and also an amazing steak cooking timer. So I urge you to check that out.
Ooh, that's good.
Perfect timer. Yeah, it's a cool timer because it allows you can dial up the doneness for all your guests. And then it tells you when to put each steak on, when to flip it, so they all come off the grill at the same time.
Are you
really
kidding?
You don't want to, yeah, because if somebody wants it rare, another person wants it well done, that rare steak's going to come off sooner, and then that steak's going to get cold while the other steak gets well done if you put them all on at the same time. But if you use the Omaha Steaks timer, it tells you when to put them on so they all come off at the same time.
That is genius. I don't even ask people because I'm like, you're going to get it the way you get it. Because you're right. Because if you keep asking, then you're taking them off at all different times. You got to put them in the microwave, whatever. Oh my gosh.
Microwave. Talk about somebody who
Todd
needs
almost
your
fell off
grilling
his chair.
tips.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We're going to get right off that microwave really fast and go right to the grilling tips. So I think kind of working backwards, if you have everything else perfect, you really want to let your steak rest a few minutes before you serve it. So I usually take it off when the internal temperature is about 5 degrees below where I want it to be. And then I let it rest for about 5 minutes. It will come up to its final temperature, and that allows the juices to circulate, it allows the cook to complete. It's really a nice thing, and a lot of people forget to do that.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it is.
You're hungry.
and I actually do like the sear roasting method, and you can do that either with a grill or a pan. But it's a really nice way to cook a steak to get a super even cook. And what you do is, in the case of if you use a pan, you put it on. You grill the steak for just a minute on each side, and then you put it in like a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes until it gets the desired temperature. It'll be roasted perfectly all the way through. And you can do the same thing with the grill. You can sear it on the grill for a minute or two on each side, then put it in that pan, then put it in the oven. That's a great way to cook it. But also your grill can do a lot of that for you too.
It's interesting. I just started becoming friends with my thermometer too, my meat thermometer. It used to be just like a guessing game. And now I understand the finer point of that. But I've also learned that going from frozen with your steaks, if you have to, is not awful. As a matter of fact, it comes out darn juicy and really good. And it's shocking to me. And I didn't know if you've ever tried that before.
Yeah. So on your first point about the thermometer, absolutely my go-to tool. I always use a meat thermometer. We've actually been having one as a premium on omahasteaks.com on and off this season. And so that's a great, it's a great tool. Use it all the time. As far as cooking from frozen, for sure, I do that from time to time. I like to turn the grill down a little bit and make it not quite so hot. That way you don't overchar the outside while you're waiting for the inside to catch up. But you're right, it makes it a little bit harder to overcook because you're starting out, with that frozen steak. They oftentimes come out very well. My go-to, though, is the Omaha Steaks quick thaw method, which is you just take Omaha Steaks because they're so beautifully vacuum sealed after we flash freeze them in this thick, freezer-proof film. You can just take that whole shrink-wrapped steak and put it in a bowl of cold tap water, and it will thaw in about 30 minutes. So if you have a little time, that's a really easy way to thaw your steak quickly.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So in the family, you guys is it fifth generation now, right? Fifth generation.
Mom said I could know.
Steak making. Is anybody in your family, I got to ask, is anybody in your family bad at grilling?
Very good question. Yeah. So Omaha Steaks was founded by my great-great-grandfather in 1917. I am the fifth generation. By the way, my other title besides being chairman and CEO is also chief steak evangelist. So,
I love it.
To give you a sense of that. So is anyone in my family bad at grilling? I would say no. Nobody in my family is bad at grilling. We all talk to each other about what kind of grill we're going to buy and, what's the latest and greatest. Of course, oftentimes grill manufacturers will send us samples of grills. So, our, testers. So we've got a lot of grills around the office that we can try out. So I like that. And my grandfather was the first person in the state of Nebraska to install an indoor grill in his home. And that was like in the mid 50s, and so they, an indoor gas grill was just not a thing.
Yeah.
But he had to have one in his house. So that was really fun.
Do you think back at that when he did that, was he like people thinking that is brilliant or you are crazy?
I think both.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that it had this really special ventilation system, and I might even have like a fire extinguisher or something like on the wall next to it, just in case,
That's genius. Oh, okay. So, and brief little side note here, because recently got some, and I've had Omaha Steaks my entire life, but I've never had chicken from Omaha Steaks. And so I got some chicken breast from Omaha Steaks. Now, the whole temperature thing, like you said, with steak, taking it off the grill 5 degrees before it's at its prime temperature. Is that the same for chicken as well, or just for steak?
That's a good question. I usually take chicken off at 165. I guess from my perspective, it's not bad if the chicken gets a little, goes a little up to 170, but I guess I'm not as sensitive to chicken, the perfection for chicken as I am for beef. So I can't answer that question, but I always take it off at 165.
Okay.
Interesting. Smoked chicken wings, one of my favorites.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because Omaha Steaks, people think of us for steaks, but, especially during summer grilling season, those chicken breasts are amazing. Our butcher cut chicken breast, which is our new extra thick chicken breast, is amazing. And then, of course, we have a big assortment of burgers and franks. So, we've got, those our Omaha Steaks burgers, the New York strip burgers that you get for free with that get out and grill assortment that you guys are talking about. And we've got the jumbo franks in that as well. I mean, something for everybody and something for every kind of meal, because, you're not going to eat filet mignon every night, although we hope that you do. But sometimes even I don't eat filet mignon every night.
And if anybody
want a big juicy burger, right?
Sometimes that's exactly what you need, and then top it off with a tartlet, and you're good to go.
Absolutely. Those tartlets are amazing.
My gosh, shut the front door. Those things are and if I'd never had chicken from Omaha Steaks before, I definitely never had desserts, and those were insane.
Bomb. Absolutely. Todd, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'd say desserts are a great way to round out a meal, and those apple tartlets you actually do in the oven. So it's not just another, cold dessert sitting in the middle of your plate. It's warm. It's inviting. It's melting that scoop of ice cream you put next to it. It's really yummy.
In the oven, Pat, not the microwave.
I know. Oh, I know. As soon as I said that, I could see Todd cringe. So, yeah.
Physical reaction.
Right?
Microwaves are good for boiling water.
Right.
Do a great job with that.
And on that note,
well, I'm going to definitely download the Omaha Steaks app because that grilling timer or the steak timer is genius.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. And the grilling tips are all on there as well. It's always fun to talk to you, man. And have a happy Father's Day weekend. I hope to get to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, I'd love to report back to you on my Smokacella event.
Smokacella.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, guys.
All right, cool. So then you go to omahasteaks.com, like we said, and just in the search bar, just put PatJT.
Cannot believe Father's Day is coming up this weekend.
I know. It's insane.
So fast.
It's insane. So do that. Check in the link or check in the bio.
Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate it. Thanks for listening to our show.
PatJT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.